battle back from being 2 goals down, that start of that game to where they ended up on the winning side is very much how the season's gone for them. You know, struggled at the start and now on this winning run. As we look at their results now, we can show them to you.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a hangover at the end of last season, missing out on the Champions League so slightly. They lost Asensio and Rashford as well in terms of firepower. Duran had left earlier in that season. So maybe it took them a little bit longer to get going. But I agree with Leanne. I mean, Unai Emery's coaching is amazing, to think of where he's brought them to from when he came in. And if you look at the players, I mean, this is a great run of form at any level of football. But if you look at the players they've got, I can't really think of one that hasn't improved under him. You know, he's tweaked positions with some of them as well. But he's got a set way of playing. And actually, when you watch Villa a lot, they play out from the back through the lines as well as anybody. They're very brave with their football. And it was no surprise to me that they've, you know, he's got them winning again. But they are playing really well. And actually now, really, you could argue are involved in the game of the weekend, I think.
It'll be interesting to see if Emi Martinez is available, because obviously I think that's why they're a little bit shaky. They conceded the 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. Bizarre, I like him a lot. He plays a lot for them in Europe. But, like, they didn't seem like their normal self in the first 20, did they? And then they kind of came into their own in the second half. Yeah,
you said they were involved in the game of the weekend. Are they involved in the title race, though? That's the question.
No. I think on the day they can beat anybody, and I think they'll give Arsenal a really tough game, but I don't think they've got the strength and depth. They are in Europe. They haven't got as big a squad as Emery would like. He's talked about that before, but they're certainly capable of getting in the top 4. I mean, I tipped them, I think, actually, get this right, the beginning before the season to get in the top 4, so that's going all right. Forget the Liverpool tip. We'll get there. Leave that one. But yeah, I think to win the title, you need real strength and depth. And if they were to have, you know, Watkins, if he wasn't playing, I think Anana's a big player for them. When you think of Constance influence, the spine really, and even the goalkeeper, I just don't see the same strength and depth you've got at City, you've got at Arsenal.
Yeah, you both have mentioned Watkins. Let's talk about him. 2 goals in midweek, ending an 11-game goal drought.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there myself. When you're a centre-forward not scoring goals, and, you know, Ollie Watkins...
long you'd probably get dropped, but he doesn't, because he knows how important he is for the other players. Ironically, in the game at the weekend, his first couple of chances, one he scoffed and one he didn't quite get hold of properly, and you could see exactly what you said, that lack of confidence. When he got the goal...
I mean, he's finally, you know, first few games of the season, there were times fans were getting really frustrated with him at Villa Park, but the weight of pass that Morgan Rogers has and the telepathy that him and Ollie Watkins have, I think, can really help.
Do you think it's helped him as well being... I know we might not be first choice for England depending on Jude and all those things, but being away with England and getting the plaudits he did and having those good performances, I think that's probably helped him, don't you?
It has, and he's played through that. I mean, Thomas Tuchel has helped him to prove what Danny said, because he wasn't playing great. Last year, he had one good season in the Premier League. He was getting Young Player of the Year, PFA Young Player, and he was fantastic. And sometimes it takes a little while. Everyone goes through a bad run of form. He just had a few bad games, and everyone was kind of on his back because the spotlight was on him a little bit more. But I do
young
think...
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing with him, just quickly as well, is that number 10s generally we think of technically, and he is very good technically, but he is powerful. When he gets going, he's strong and he's athletic as well as the technical. And when you've got that mixture of both, that's why he's pushing Jude for the number 10 spot.
Yeah, and obviously that World Cup is a big carrot, like all players looking at it. The draw is happening as we speak, and so big motivator for all players around the Premier League and the world, of course. Well, Unai Emery described the meeting with Arsenal as a huge test for his team.
How we are now after our progress, tomorrow is a really huge test. Huge test collectively, huge test individually. And for me as a coach as well, I am delighted to have this opportunity to play tomorrow against Arsenal, and with the level they have and with the level we achieved as well the last month.
Okay, let's talk about their opposition now, Arsenal, the league leaders, but in a little bit of trouble. We've talked about their squad depth, even that's been tested this season. Another centre-back down in the game against Brentford, and Julian Timber had to come in and fill in.
Yeah, the only light at the end of the tunnel is I think Saliba's quite close. Might have to speed him up a little bit. But Timber, I mean, he can play anywhere, the guy. He's unbelievable. If you look at the Arsenal game against Brentford, you know, he left Timber and Saka out, which is arguably the best right-side pairing in Europe, or one of. Brings in Ben White and Madueke, and they absolutely destroyed Brentford in the first half. This is as good a squad as Arsenal have had, if not ever, in terms of 22 players, 23 players. So I don't see it being a problem. The only small caveat to that would probably be Declan.
Yeah.
We're yet to see Arsenal lose him for a prolonged period. The odd game he has a rest. But if they were to lose him for a few weeks, is there anyone who can do what he does with that same physicality? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I could talk about Declan Rice for the next 5 years. I think he's unbelievable. What a player. And I think he epitomises everything a footballer should be. And I do agree. You know, if he's not available, it's an interesting one. The fact they went up against Chelsea, though, with Mosquera and Capio as well, without Gabriel and Saliba, shows you maybe Arsenal have turned the corner this season.
Yeah, but then Mosquera also was out. And then I thought Ben White would go in at that centre-back role, but they brought Timber in there. I wasn't sure how confident you'd be with the Timber against this Aston Villa team in the way.
If you ask any Arsenal fan the way they feel about Timber, I mean, it was unfortunate that he got injured as soon as he got to Arsenal. But he can play in a back three, he can play in a back five. Lewis Skelly is not getting a look in this year, which is quite surprising. But Calafiori has been unbelievable. So I do think Arsenal seem to have turned the corner. But again, they're 5 points clear. And I think there's this bit of like still shakiness, isn't there? Whether people are reluctant to say they can win the league because the last 2 seasons they've come so close. And at the end of the season, fell by the wayside.
So what do you do then if Declan Rice is out for this game because it's a calf problem? Do you move Marino into midfield and then lose that number 9 threat that he poses?
Well, you don't lose the threat because you'd expect Gyökeres to come in and be a threat. But Moreno is a different type of player than Declan. They're both good technicians, but Moreno's not got the athleticism Rice has got. He's not slow, don't get me wrong. But there could be an opportunity for Norgard. People forget he's even at Arsenal because he hasn't been used that much. This is the captain of Brentford. I saw him 4 or 5 times live last season, and he's an outstanding player, by the way. He's not as athletic as Declan, but he's a leader, he can play, he's good on his defensive duty. They've got options. The problem is, Declan at the moment is one of the best midfielders in Europe, so you're not going to get someone who has all his attributes. You just get someone in who does different things. So if you've got Zubimendi, maybe Odegaard and Moreno, that's still a nice three to... And you're thinking when you see him on the team sheet, oof, you know, because Moreno's going to get in the box, he's going to help Gyökeres, Martinelli can hurt you, Eze, whoever it is. It's still an outstanding 11.
Yeah, Mikel Merino was involved in both goals in the victory over Brentford, and Mikel Arteta discussed the possibility of deploying Merino as a permanent striker going forward.
Well, I think he has earned at least the thinking behind it for the way he's performing and the impact that he's bringing to the team. So that's a yes.
You said yes there, but does it make you feel that he could excel even further there? We've seen it with Kai Havertz, who when he joined wasn't a traditional number 9, but has grown into the position.
Yeah, and then playing together, those two, even with Victor, or it can be with Gavi, and that's things that we have prepared during the summer because of the squad that we have, and so far we haven't been able to do.
Yeah, Mikel Merino that Arsenal have been looking for. 9 Premier League goals in 2025 for Arsenal, 21 for club and country. Is that instinct? Is that taught? Is that practiced?
I think it's a combination of the two. It's a natural instinct, and fair play to him because he's not a natural number 9, but he doesn't look. He looks like a natural number 9. He reminds me of Olivier Giroud, who is a natural number 9, and he's positioning. You know, this type of movement he has here to stay central. Like, how many number 9s do we have in the world now that actually stay central? A lot of them drop deep. That's why I think Moreno can play with Gyökeres, because Gyökeres is that type of player that will drop deep. It's an unbelievable ball from Ben White, and the service from Arsenal is incredible as well. But Moreno, what a signing he's been, what a player. And he starts for Spain, even before he got to Arsenal. That just about speaks true to how good he is.
It's funny how some players are more appreciated on the eye to the fan because they're so dynamic in terms of speed or skill. And he's just an intelligent footballer, does everything quite well, brilliant in the air. But if you look at the stats there, I mean, what are you? If you're an attacking midfielder, you're judged on goals and assists. I know he's played as a false 9, but he keeps making an impact in the games. And maybe, I don't know, Arsenal fans might tell me different, but I think he's I'd say undervalued or underrated by them. I think if they were picking their best 11, generally they wouldn't have him in it.
Yeah, that is true, especially given that midfield and the quality there is now.
But if you're picking, right now, if I'm picking between Moreno and Gyökeres in the 9, I'm picking Moreno.
Same.
Yeah.
All day long, which is crazy because Gyökeres came on the other night. He got 9 minutes or so. And he doesn't look, again, it's similar to Ollie Watkins, a player that doesn't look like, takes a little bit of a time to adjust to the Premier League, but he doesn't look like he's confident, you know, and you've got Moreno going in that's not even a number 9, and he's doing amazingly well.
I've wondered about this. Would they, as a player, right, if this was you right now, would you be saying, okay, boss, I'll play anywhere, even though that's not really your area of expertise, that's not really where you play for your national team? Would you just end up doing that? Would you try and switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, you play anywhere the manager wants to put you. You know what position you prefer. I mean, Moreno is very good on the ball. His footwork is incredible. And when you watch him live, he gets out of situations. As much as he's not really, really quick, he thinks quick.
Yeah.
And there's a difference.
I'd play anywhere. I mean, it depends how good you are. I mean, if you're Haaland and you get asked to play on the wing, you're saying, hold on.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But it depends. If you're a player who wants to be at a big club winning trophies and you're adaptable and versatile, it's beneficial for you to have that open-mindedness because you'll play more.
Yeah, let's just look at their fixtures coming up now. Of course, we know there is that big trip at lunchtime to Villa Park, and then in the Champions League as well, they turn attention. They've got Wolves, Everton, Palace, Brighton, Aston Villa again, Bournemouth and Liverpool all to come in the next couple of weeks. I mean, I guess, is this the period where the title challenges and the also-rans are kind of separated? Is this a crucial period for them?
Yeah, I think so, just to cement your position. I actually think, looking at those fixtures, a lot of the big games near the end of that run come at home where they're outstanding. This game on Saturday is arguably their toughest one out of that run. If they can get through this one, they'll look at those fixtures. I mean, we've seen what they did to Munich at home. To go to Arsenal and get anything is going to be tough for anyone. I don't care how well you're playing. That game Saturday, if they were to win that, I think they'll look at the rest of that and think we're going to be in a great position.
Yeah, it's a psychological edge as well, because the last 2 seasons they've fallen off at the end and everybody's expecting them to do that. It's games like Brentford that I think if this was last season, they might not have won that game like Brentford and been able to rest those players and still get the result.
Yeah, true.
So the fact they're able to do it, I agree with Danny. You know, the Villa games are massive, especially away. Like, that will start, then we'll see what Arsenal are about, the psychological side and the mentality.
Haaland has his century, but will he be celebrating with a Premier League winners' medal at the end of the season? Man City are 5 points behind leaders Arsenal, and today Pep has warned that winning consistently is harder than ever.
Incredible optimistic person and positive person, and I want to see the good things that we have done. Against Leeds, look what happened afterwards. One for me, the best managers in the world, Enzo Maresca. I know him quite well, but the job has done in Chelsea is not credit enough. Working the World Cup, conference, qualification of the Champions League. And that league is so tough. Young team, how develop all the players. So it's exceptional. And go Ellen Road, look what happened. So it's really, 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 really difficult. You are able to win games, and after, you don't know why, you are lose games. Only happen in this league, in this country.
So Pep wants that consistency from his side. Mario, do you think City, you know, looking at them now, are they good enough to stay with Arsenal and push them the whole way?
Look, it depends, because, you know, one of the key things is he tactically he's very good and he's always trying to find nuance. And sometimes they need more time. And that's why also you have, like, sometimes you have forwards that play right back or left back, you know, things like that, you know, because he always tries to come up with new things against the opponents from him that play against him. And I think sometimes it takes more time, and that can be the difficulty for him, because he has to be very consistent. If he wants to get that race, and who knows better how to win a race is him. So it's not like I'm saying something that we are not used in seeing.
Yeah.
Pep is very good at that. So for me, I think, and also, we also have to remember, every coach, when they come to the, I don't want to say final of being a coach, but final journey of being at a team, they always want to leave with some silverware.
That's big words there. Final journey with the team. Who knows?
But
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Totally. Dors, Phil Foden